When you drive downtown, you can't help but conjure up nightmarish images of oncoming detour signs and orange cone mazes. That's our reality. The government continues to drop public transit propaganda on us, and we try public transit only to discover that Montreal public transit isn't all that it's cracked up to be. Valérie Plante's Projet Montréal has always billed itself as pro-public transit. One of the major planks in her election campaign was the creation of a new pink metro line, and once she took office, Mayor Plante announced an investment of almost $50 million to improve public transit with a view to boosting ridership. But while officials continue to encourage commuters to take public transit, CityLife reporter Giordano Cescuti discovered there are still a lot of reasons why Montrealers are in no hurry to give up their cars.
Transit officials are looking for all types of commuters, many of which struggle with daily bus service.
The 470 takes really long. It comes every 15 to 20 minutes in the morning, and then it's another 20 minutes to Fairview, and that takes and then like every half hour my other bus comes to take me to work.
It takes her nearly 90 minutes to travel from NDG to Pointe-Claire for work.
It would be much more convenient if everything came more frequently in the West Island at least.
Long waits for buses have been a long-standing complaint, but public transit lobby group Trajectoire thinks that may soon change.
Ms. Plante, I mean, with adding 300 buses, it's a very, very good start, because for the last 2 or 3 years we've been asking to first improve what we have, which is the bus system, to have more frequent buses on many bus routes, more express bus routes also.
But slow service isn't the only problem facing transit users. In outlying regions, the biggest challenge for many is just how to get to a commuter train. For instance, in Vaudreuil, there simply aren't enough parking spaces at the train station.
The former EMT never finished the parking there. So that means, especially in winter time, you're losing, when the parking is not made with asphalt online, you're losing about, it's a technical, between 20 and 25% of your space are lost because people take more than one space.
Pilon says the problems only get worse in the winter time.
The RTM, they don't remove the snow from the parking. I mean, they push it on a certain place, but they're losing it between 20 and 30 places. So.
But Pilon says he is excited about the construction of a new permanent parking lot with 300 new spaces. The new lot is expected to be completed before the end of 2019. But critics say that parking is just one of the issues facing the train service. Ridership on the Vaudreuil, Hudson, and De Montagne lines has dropped every year since 2012.
Well, there was a lot of money put in the system between 2007 and 2011, of course. And yeah, there was more money, more service, so more people were using it, which was great. But since 2012, the different governments have been looking for new solutions, like the new transit authority in Montreal. Well, while they were working on that, I mean, they were not working on putting more money in the system, and nobody was adding service.
While there are still some problems with parking and no immediate solutions for infrequent trains, many are banking on the promise of the Caisse de Dépôt's SkyTrain. The new electric train project is set to be completed by the end of 2020. Trains will run every 3 to 10 minutes for 20 hours a day.
It's logical, for heaven's sakes. You want to cut down on the car traffic going downtown. The train is a real viable form of public transportation. Better than the bus, in fact, because there's nobody you don't have to worry about a traffic jam here.
Pilon believes that the project will solve the issues of overcrowded and infrequent trains.
Looking forward for the Réseau de Transport Métropolitain, but by electric train. And when this train comes, it will change the complete picture of the transportation in the region of Montreal, especially on the town outside Montreal.
Others suggest that the solution to reducing the number of cars isn't in public transit, but by taking carpooling into the 21st century. Local transportation app NetLift has worked with the STM to offer alternatives in areas that aren't served well by public transit.
We say that it's a very good idea to put a bus or a metro where it's super dense, but below 10,000 citizens per square kilometer, use another mode. Small shuttles, taxis, cars. It's super cheap to go, and it's way more efficient than using heavy material.
Pepin thinks the STM needs to work with companies like NetLift to find new ways to attract commuters.
They have to be more aggressive. Let's say more services, of course, more publicity, and also going toward a new integrated mobility with all the new systems that you have, like shared car sharing or car pooling also.
Alice Anderson doesn't care exactly how improvements are made. She just hopes they will result in a quicker commute to work.
At least in the morning, for buses to come more frequently, at least 10 minutes, every 10 minutes. 5 minutes would be ideal, but yeah, because I find I'm mostly waiting for the buses.
With the approval of 300 new buses and real-time transit schedules, Plante's administration is off to a positive start when it comes to public transportation. But commuters are hoping that future projects will result in even further improvement in helping ease their transition from driving to public transit. Giordano Ciscuti, CityLife, Pointe Claire.
Joining me now to talk about Montreal Public Transit is Mayor John Belvedere, Mayor of Pointe Claire. Robert Frank is a journalist, and Ethan Cox is an editor at Ricochet Media. Thank you all for being here. I want to start with what may seem like an obvious question. What constitutes public transit? I'll ask you, Ethan.